Hi everybody, welcome back to another video on another wrestling and the review and you and this video I'm gonna chat to you about the release of Art with aka Run Roof. I will um Killings, sorry. Um, but before we before we do, guys, um, it would be appreciated if you like the video and subscribe to the so in the review and you for more extensive coverage on professional so in for news or rumors or reviews opinion pieces and speculation but anyway back to the video so the new so the new so the news Hororoki stood after on when I on here in Scotland that was about half three and after the Archer of had and the Archer of had posted on his official X account saying that I'm sorry to inform everybody that I've been released now since and it's come out saying there've been reports out saying that the artists on Stratum wasn't in renewed. Now, to be honest with you, it's kind of bitter or sweet because this is a guy that I've grew up home with. Basically, I got into the song when he was Jake Hill. Um, he had the run with the WWF at the time had war championship in 2000. They then teamed him up with Road or Jesse James, who will circle back to in this video because I'm a bit annoyed. But I but we'll get to that in a minute. He then obviously it was obviously very young at the time during that on but then he went to ENA or NWA ENA as it was known back then, and as it was a um as it was a branch of the NWA, but but it began to get more of a follow, and this is about the time he was rap career took off as well. He did have early talent, he did more rapper ish. Um, he was in began using his WhatsApp. In a, um, a, in the office only, he was on the rooms, uh, and he would continue to use um, both his time in DNA and subsequent and and his second WWE run, and obviously so variations, but um but anyway, that as as a guy that was respected in every walk around, his most notable figure but on obviously in ENA with AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett. Now, Jarrett would actually figure for the end of a I and a few and a few classic matches. But the end of it all, and back up with old dog Jesse James, who was going by who was going by around J. James at that time. They were from the Voodoo Kin Mafia, etc. Late or on after on if the Bill he done with he got that role, and but essentially what I've noticed about our troops career is he was always willing to put others over, be it like in squash matches, he'd put over guys like Bray Wyatt, he'd put over like the more top stars that they really wanted to push. Obviously, the height of his WWE run the second time is obviously um in the but he sort of mini feud with John Cena that led to a match at Capital Punishment. Now this was my favourite part of R-Truth's career because it played the whole sort of paranoid, sort of psychotic schizophrenic, even if you want to use that word, he'd obviously start saying that there was a conspiracy against them, etc. You had to the famous moment to kick off the heel on the year, John Morrison with all five of the extreme rules went into a triple threat match with obviously Cena and the Miz. It would obviously lead to probably the most notable part of the second on obviously truth obviously it should have snapped and he would kick John Morrison out the ring by using a running now basically that's where would obviously kick off the start of the whole archery field. And as I've said there was obviously that iconic image, Sheriff smoking the cigarette basically. He liked to further rubber stamp the heel on. I think that was actually an angle in believe it or not. Oh, it was right before Extreme Rules. And WWE like to do a European schedule at that time. So yeah, because you can actually hear the crowd actually is starting the who are you, the chants and whatnot. Because I watched the clip before coming on to shoot this video. And the promos he was delivering was excellent. Crashing arch and obviously he obviously he's soaking the son and father with Aaron John Cena shots that led to the title match to obviously him with Aaron if he sort of confederate soldier outfit as he said he was seceding from the WWE fans to obviously the short-lived Awesome Truth tag email of them as they go up against them or Hawkins at Survivor series of that year. So if that was a real banner year for if as a performer, he would obviously then on the face after them as on the on him, he'd only or be a tag champ if him if he counts and he would always be and he would always be open. He would always be open to putting others over as well. That was pretty much Truth's like basic tell into branch out more into the comedic sort of route as well. Like trying to join the judgment, etc. It was absolutely hilarious, etc. And yeah, besides all the sort of comedic all original one show both the kids and the adults absolutely of our Truth as a performer and and then yeah and he was obviously well respected and all the companies he worked for like names like Bale, eh, um, Gil and Gil um um and others would be significantly post messages as a support. You could even have a couple at AEW wrestle us like Amana. She would post um she would post messages of support as well. Um, throughout the afternoon. Obviously, he shot Sewell, who didn't hell, but the upsetting thing as to this, as to the, as, outcome hell, as the road og himself would actually take on his post. And I get that he's on the more, I get that he's on the, I get that he's on the more, or the end of the company, but if you, actually feel sympathy for, or a friend, you have to keep up the post, and I think it was a bit out of order, or that he quickly deleted that post. Now, I know, um, now you can obviously make the argument that, the corporate powers that be, you told them to take it down, but I'm sorry, if the actual rent, then it'll east actually keep it up. I'll actually, get it and can pay the corporates, the corporate suits of year on to on rose holes. But yeah, but that's was a guy that was obviously with all respect. He, as I've said, he's a talent. He'd or or he's obviously getting up to an age with 50. Um, or but sometimes sometimes the way he executes moves, so like the obscure body that he does, etc. You would actually think he's a lot young, or essentially, I always kind of thought that he deserved at least um, a short run with the belt. I think maybe if he did to win the belt for or an eight, like if he did to win a capital punishment, I doubt he still like to have seen his but unfortunately they went with if the company got John's, but it was a real missed opportunity that they couldn't have truth at least get over and the belt at least. And I obviously obviously is he get his big moment at WrestleMania 4 he as L in Philadelphia. And it was a real feel good moment. But um as soon as the tag team also obviously they put back on the judgment. it was back uh, Archer on his comedy role. Oh well, it was fine. Um, it was fine hearing off. He enjoyed the horror. Oh, and he'll be a big loss to off the war horror and for the fans of horror not for of this guy and over 20 year um or year in the book isn't it? Is um and and I'm just absolutely uh, I'm just absolutely pissed off that the way he was treated here. Obviously, obviously he had the match against John Cena at Saturday night's at Saturday night's main event and yeah but they could he's I had it they could he still had his career on the line and have truth maybe go out in a bit more ignorant he basically because he does have all of that pageantry and fans here so maybe that should have been introduced to the appreciations, but like I um overall I think the man deserves a Hall of Fame option because he's a very is very respected by both um and obviously El Oreso has obviously he had a passion for the business because he's been doing it that long. I'm not actually sure if he's going to continue or so, but he's actually one of the last attitude era like eyes that is still on the act of Ross or so yes he old eyes and other so of or my childhood is no longer with the company. But I would just actually like to say our truth. Um, thanks very much for all the memories, and I will look forward to seeing what you're doing next. And thank you for your service to the so and history and yeah shaming about about you for or treating you as bad. Hell, as bad though as the last, because it's just not right, because you've helped because you've helped elevate countless wrestlers such as a Barry Wyatt and others on the roster. And yeah, yeah, and I'm far from happy, but guys, but guys, hit the thumbs up, the subs, or even the share, and I'll see you all in the next video. And again, thank you, are um, or yeah, or contributions.